one word, you see it up there. Finish. Okay? Finish. Okay, offensively, we're going to share it. We got to finish plays at the rim. We got to finish strong. Okay, we got to finish inside-out passes by having big balls bound the three ball. Okay, we got to finish defensive possessions with a contest on everything. Contest every shot. And then when the shot goes up on the board, we got to finish possessions by securing the rebound. Okay, we got to finish the Atlanta Hawks off and move on to the next round.
And from that speech to this environment, the Fieldhouse is rocking. The top-seeded Pacers pushed to the brink, surviving Game 6 in Atlanta, and now back home for a series-ending matchup against the 8th-seeded Atlanta Hawks. Atlanta's on a record-setting pace for three-pointers attempted. And Lance Stevenson, speaking of the three ball. Through the month of February, a team that lost 14 out of 15 games in the month of February, but got hot late and found themselves in the playoffs. Good look, oh, and a little style for PG.
Yeah, beautiful play, but also a great job by David West at the high post with that feed. Again, that's where he did so much work in that fourth quarter.
Paul George, guarded by Korver. George steps back and does that. About as good as anyone, Paul George.
He really has just continued to mature, and I love him because he's a two-way guy. You know, you always want your best player to have that ability to impact the game on both ends. Paul George.
And George squeeze again. Boy, how'd he get through? Paul George.
Plus, they both space it well because of their ability to make mid-range. So, bright future ahead for this Hawks team.
It's Paul George knocks one down, and the Pacers. 4 turnover for Atlanta. The Pacers have 10, but they have the lead by 6. George trying to add to it. Paul George misfires. Hibbert pulls down the board. Here's George. He's feeling it right now. Paul George with 16. 10 in this quarter.
We talked about it at the top. It's always nice when your best player sets the tone, and George has done it here on both ends.
Teague trying to stop the bleeding here. Can't do it. Millsap, offensive board. Hibbert blocks. Millsap got it back. He's fouled. David West called for the foul.
That side of the court and the spacing was horrible for the Hawks.
And there's a foul, and it goes. Teague fouled. Hill going by. Got him in the head. Scott hit 5 3-pointers in the second quarter in Game 5 as George answers.
Of getting some rhythm offensively for the Hawks.
Paul George for 3. Yes! And on the first opportunity of the fourth quarter, Mack misses a 3. Atlanta missed 11 consecutive 3-pointers and then finished 4 of 6 from behind the arc as George has an answer on the other end. Shot clock at 7. George on the attack. Here's George. And George stops and pops. Shot in his last 10 tries. Splits the double team, and George silky smooth in the lane.
How about the ability to avoid the charge after he splits that pick and roll? Great vision by Paul George there. Comes off this great pick and roll, splits it. You see Millsap comes over for the charge. He slides to the left with the flip. Nene was just unreal in that first round matchup against the Bulls.
Mike Scott had that one blocked by Wes Stevenson with the exclamation point. Lance Stevenson with 19.
Pacers won. That identity that they had established over the first 3 quarters of the season on display from the opening tip in this game. It was about the D and the trio of George, Hibbert, Stevenson. And you got to throw West in there as well.
Coaches come together. First time this series, a team wins back-to-back games. A new playoff high for Paul George, 30 points.